You know what I don't understand about Sony fans? Here we had an entire network being down for 24 hours, and there were little to no tweets of these ponies being disgruntled that Sony, although selling 71 million consoles, couldn't fix their network. However, these ponies were looking for a win even at the Super Bowl. When Kendrick Lamar performed at the halftime show, he would have featured a PlayStation controller. And these ponies are looking at it as a win. Wow, these guys are happy that Kendrick Lamar did this, unknowing that Kendrick was simply calling out Sony and Drake.
First, I want to point out that his entire Super Bowl stage is a PlayStation controller. And who owns PlayStation? Sony?
You're a victim. Here we go, CSI.
Where's Drake signed to? Sony.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So that's the very first button that he's pushing here.
And after 24 hours of being down, what does Sony do? Sony gave these horses 5 days of extra PlayStation Plus or PSN or whatever. I mean, 5 days. 24 hours and you get 5 days of nothing. 5 days of walking in the desert. 5 days in a parched land with no water to drink. Are you ponies content with that?
Sony has finally addressed what went wrong with PSN over the weekend and what they're going to give to subscribers to make up for it. PSN was down for about 24 hours, and when it went back online, they didn't reveal exactly what was the issue.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Causing PS Plus members to freak out because the last time something like this happened back in 2011, Sony was hit with a massive data breach that compromised over 70 million accounts. So after being called out on social media for their lack of transparency, Sony tweeted that it was due to operational issues and that PS Plus members would be getting 5 free days of service.
I beg your pardon?
Not much to go on, but at least it wasn't another hack. Still, it's probably a good idea to change your passwords anyway. That's just good internet practice.
So you're telling me that Sony didn't even have the decency to issue a better apology and give some sort of reward better than that 5 days of PlayStation Plus? I mean, even this uncle knows how to apologize better than Sony.
I'm sorry.
No, you straight, you straight. It's all good.
Man, I'm sorry.
Yo, you good? You know.
So although Uncle is leaking out all over that room, he did apologize. Uncle did apologize, but not Sony. Sony don't know any kind of things like apologies. But instead, these ponies talk about that. They are upset that Avowed just might be bad. Listen to these ponies hate on Avowed.
That big hesitation not to trust her in previews. Listen, man, I don't want to get on this. I don't want to get on this dead horse any more than we typically already do. I don't have confidence in the Xbox studios right now. They're really inconsistent. And Redfall previewed really well. So I'm not saying, and see, when you, as soon as you say something like that, people are gonna be like, Reforged Gaming says that, Avowed is the next Redfall. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I need to see actual reviews from outlets that don't have Xbox in their name. And I need to see the game played by people who are just going to give raw responses to it. Live streamers, myself, others, whoever. Listen, I have now hit a point where a lot of the people that are handpicked, and as an Xbox fan, I think this should frustrate you as well.
These guys are hating on these Xbox games. I mean, that's all they talk about now is Xbox games. They're not talking about any Sony game, only Xbox games. Because they are dry across there. At the same time, when we look at the Steam charts, one of the games that are ranking on Steam is Avowed, and it's not even released as yet. So this is positive news going forward for Avowed. So yes, the Xbox community needs a buckling because of all this games, all this food we are getting.
Oh my god, my knee! My knee is being pushed listen to the damn. What?
I mean, what could I say, guys? Strengthen those knees because you guys will be eating good with Game Pass. Today, however, we are going to talk about how the Xbox Series S has done something remarkable. Yes, the Xbox Series S is helping out not just the Xbox Series X but also the PlayStation 5 games coming to those platforms. We will see how one developer is saying that. So you know what? Let's get it!
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. As I continue to expose Sony and their fans, hit that like and subscribe button to show your support. I mean, you get great Xbox content, you get some Xbox news, Nintendo news, and of course, I expose these ponies and I discipline these ponies. So hit the subscribe button if this type of content interests you. Now let's get back to the video. First up, let's talk about some misinformation and a new talking point that these Sony fans are using. Yes, all over the internet, all over Twitter, you would see ponies posting up Xbox only sold 2 million units in 2024. Now let me address this. First of all, if Microsoft sold only 2 million in 2024, which they didn't, let me say that it's been long known that both Xbox and PlayStation is saying that they should not be judged on how many consoles they sold. This is according to both Phil Spencer and the head Yoshida there at Sony. They said, do not judge them on the consoles they sold. That is what they said since 2019, 2020. So even if Microsoft did sell 2 million, they said that here what? Their focus is not solely on if it is they sell consoles. That's number one. Number two, that's just a gross lie. It's a gross lie that Microsoft sold 2 million consoles. You know why? There are actual gaming journalists who would have been critical of Microsoft in the past, who would have seized the opportunity to report on that. However, we have persons who are in gaming journalists who would have said no. For example, Derek Strickland, I believe he's from Twitter, and notice what he said. He said, huge reminder that welfare JBP is your best source for Xbox hardware data. Xbox Series indeed sold more than 2 million in 2024. And then he shows the breakdown of each year and how much this particular firm believes Microsoft sold in that particular year. And if you are watching at 2024, you see 5.6 million consoles sold in 2024. So we already have stats and data from credible sources that Microsoft sold more than 2 million consoles. So ponies, you have to miss the gaming community with that talking point. Let's move on. Next up, let's talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance. You see, this is a new game that recently released, and it released on the Xbox Series X and S, and of course the PlayStation 5. Now, currently, Kingdom Come Deliverance is ranking number 1 on the most paid games on the Xbox Store. So it's doing very, very well there on Xbox. And it just so happened that recently one of the devs from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 would have had an interview with the guys there at Iron Lord's podcast, and he said something very, very interesting. You see, for the most part of this generation, the Sony fans and the so-called gaming journalists said that the Xbox Series S is holding back gaming, it's holding back the Xbox Series X, and so forth. And that was the narrative that they were trying to push in the gaming community. But we are seeing something different. Not only we would have seen that the Xbox Series S is capable of running these next-gen games at a very good frame rate and a very good visual or graphical visual style, we are seeing more evidence now that the Xbox Series S is not what they are painting it to be. Listen to what this dev have to say about the Xbox Series S.
about the performance thing, because you said that originally you guys thought it was going to be 30 frames.
Yeah.
Was it something that like internally you guys knew would be like a selling point on consoles, and like they were actively going for it, or like they just so happen to find a way? I'm kind of curious on like the priority to making a performance mode on console.
Bit of both, but the more the priority was make it 30 and make it run good and make it stable and make it bulletproof. And then when they found out, hey, wait a second, it seems like we can do more, especially also with the new PlayStation releasing that offered again more power on the hardware. We were like, okay, wait, if we test a few things here and there, and the optimizations also for the Xbox Series S helped greatly the other platforms. As well.
Really? Could you expound?
That's called priority.
That's a point of contention. That's actually a big statement that you said, because a lot of people feel that the S holds back development. You're stating the opposite. You're stating that developers actually utilize that to help development. I'm just curious if you.
Well, of course, it's the weakest of the four. I mean, that's not even a secret. But since you have to dial down on a few things and have to be cleverer about where you can in the programming, in the code and so on, and be able to save memory here and there, some of these optimizations for S benefit to the other consoles as well, because you either can go full force ahead with the big ones, or you use those memory savings that you found out for the S and use it for the bigger ones as well, so that it runs smoother. Not saying that it looks worse or whatever than it could, but it runs better than it
helping with that optimization.
So you're learning so many important things, and I'm so proud of you.
I mean, what an interview. What an interview. Shout out to the guys there at the Iron Lords podcast for a great interview. But these ponies are being exposed day after day. You see, they would have pushed the narratives together with the pony media to say that the Xbox Series S is holding back gaming. But it's very clear that actual devs don't say that. Actual devs are saying that, here what? Because of the additional optimization for the Xbox Series S, it is helping other platforms, it is helping other consoles to run better, to play smoother, because of the additional work. And this is what we need. We need the truth to come out about these things to put these Sony fans in their place. So let me hear what you thought about the video today. Let me hear what you thought about the lies of the 2 million consoles being sold in 2024, or what you thought about Kingdom Come Deliverance and the Xbox Series S benefiting all these other consoles. Let me know about that in the comment sections below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.